Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Christine Gary. If you're new here, karibu sana. If you've been part of the team when I was giving up on you, also I'm sorry. Honestly, I'm so sorry. I'm tired of giving excuses, but it's about time I think I brief you on about some few things that have been going on in my life. Very crazy. So after I did that life update life update video, I was trying to say that I have a podcast coming in. I have a movie, school, little update, new intro, all of that. First of all, I lied. There was no new intro. So a lot of things happened after that. We made the movie. I see the Exhaustion film trailer. The trailer came out and we got so much love that all that traffic I think caused shock on my account because the views started going down. In that when you check, for example, the views would be at like 1,000, but then after that they would go down to 800. So it was a little bit crazy. I still don't understand YouTube algorithm, but we're getting there. Yeah, so that's about the movie. And the movie actually came out and it was really nice. We had a lot of sweet comments. Of course, we had a lot of positive feedback, and I hope that Melita and I can work on something like that very soon. About the podcast, my friend and I started that podcast, and then I felt like I was doing so many things at the same time. By doing so many things at the same time, number one, I got a job. Now let me tell you people about that story about getting that job. So I did radio. I was working on a certain radio station. I don't want to mention the name, but anybody that knows where I was working, and it went bitter. I'd like to also say that I worked there for 2 weeks only. Then I fired myself. So here's what happened. So you guys know, sometimes you're really excited when like you get a new job that you don't see the benefits you're getting from it. So I'd like to say that place number one was overworking. So by overworking I mean when, for example, you apply for a job today, if you apply for 9 to 5, then by 5 you're out, and unless you've talked about any OT, that's overtime, there's no point that these people should be calling you back to the office. So what happened, the job was really nice. I feel like for me it gave me the little exposure I needed, because to be honest, I don't want to even sound like a petty person, but I was bigger than that brand in whatever shape and form that I went in there. I was bigger than it. Why? Because I knew what I was bringing to the table, but I chose to settle for less just because I thought, being known to be working at an international radio, all of that nonsense. But let me tell you one thing, don't settle for less. But then I learned the hard way. So what happened is, when I initially joined, I was given a show from 4 p.m. to 7 p.m. And then the boss felt like my energy was somehow dedicated to another show, which she moved me. So now keep this in mind. Today I've done a show from 4 to 7 p.m. Then she called me, she's like, you know what, I want you to try something else. I was like, okay, easy, because sometimes I think in the media industry you have to be moved a couple of times before you get to what you're meant to be doing. Someone's like, easy. So I was like, okay, so we're doing that tomorrow. She's like, we're doing it today. And I think that should have been excuse me, the first red flag, but I chose to just let it go because I thought, I'm still new, I need to get all this, all these things in. What is happening to my tongue? I need to get all these things in order in one day. So that was 4 to 7. Then she gives me 7 to 10. Also didn't work out because apparently I was too mature for the crowd. Then she gave me midnight. That was from 10 p.m. to 1 a.m. It was a really good team. I mean, me and Teddy were rocking it, if you remember it. Like, if you tuned in, me and Teddy were killing it. So that was really good until, sometimes if I'm to go to work, at that time it was like curfew time. So that would mean that I don't have a press card yet, and I don't have my permission thingy to be outside after curfew. So that would mean even when I have a show at 10 p.m. to 1 a.m., I'd still be in the office by around 7:30, because again, where I come from, it's very far away from the city, so I had to find a way to get to town to save money without using Uber or boat or whatever taxi. So yeah, so that is what I was doing every day, and I realized that after that I would spend the whole day sleeping, because with me, I don't believe in sleeping in public places. I don't care how tired I am. So what usually happened, when me and my boy were done with this event, Chineke, we're done with these videos. When me and Teddy were done with the show, that was from 10 p.m. to 1 a.m., we would now start planning for the show for the next night. For the next night. So that would mean that we'd be done by around 3, then we take some tea, some coffee, then we leave at around 6 or 5:30 sometimes, depending on what time everyone else is leaving. That went on for a while until 2-3 days later, somebody calls me, I'm sleeping. So get this, when I leave town at 6 a.m., I'll get to my house at around 8:30, because sometimes when I'm coming back home, it's against traffic, but not a lot of people are coming this way, so you have to a little bit wait for the matatus to jar, and you can't take an Uber. I mean, sometimes I would, but I feel like taking an Uber again with that casalo that I was being given, unless I was planning to work for 2 days, there's no way in hell I'd have managed that, because again, the city to where I stay, it's very, very far. Not far, but there's crazy traffic, and the taxi prices are really exaggerated. So I would get home at around 8:30, 9 a.m. in the morning. So of course I have to sleep half the day, then wake up, go to school, do assignments if I don't have a class. So one time I get home at like 8:30, then around noon, the boss's PA calls me. She's like, "Oh, hi Christine, how are you?" I'm like, "I am good." She's like, "Did I wake you up?" I'm like, "Yeah, I was on night shift, so I mean, I ought to be sleeping right now so that I can be fresh enough for the evening." Because the worst thing, let me tell you guys, the worst thing about radio, the good thing about it is people feel your energy. It's not like TV. You know, for TV, people can just do your makeup and you look presentable. Like right now, you can't tell that I'm stressed or I'm tired. Why? Because as long as you put yourself together physically, then the emotional stays up to you. So with radio, it's the other way around. Nobody knows what you look like, so you have to sell your voice. Everything has to be perfect. Like when people are listening to you, everything has to be on point. And so that was happening. So she's like, "Oh, okay, so you need to be in the office by 1 p.m. I'm like, "Sorry, what?" And you see, now here's where the problem is. If I'm to leave my house to go to town for that 1 p.m., which by the way was a photo shoot for the show, which I didn't mind, I'll have to either come back home or stay in town until 10 p.m. for my show to 1 a.m., which again, I can't leave because curfew, you know. I hope you understand up to that. So all these frustrations, day 1, day 2, day 3, and then the other day, Nikona, I was removed from the radio group. I'm like, okay. So I was removed from the radio group because I didn't make it on time for the shoot. Because us, we used to reach that around 7, 8 to town so that we can just chill as we wait and go through our scripts as we wait for the radio to, like, for a show to come on. So I saw I was removed from the group. I was like, okay, so am I fired or? So I called my boss's sister who also worked there. Then she's like, may I didn't, let me not use the accent so that people cannot quote me. May I didn't know that you leave her or you guys were working overnight. I'm like, what do you mean? You guys always leave and leave us in the office. She's like, oh, I didn't know. So I went in the next day for the evening. And then one of the boss's friends, or is it a PA? I still don't understand what the guy was doing there. Came in and was like, oh, Christine, you're very cheeky. I'm like, I don't even talk to you. What do you mean? The only time I talked to this guy is when I was asking him for coffee in the office, which again is a thing. If you're going to put people in the office for the whole night, for people that has like us who have to keep talking to people, you have the least to give us coffee. So sometimes there's coffee, there's no sugar, there's sugar, there's no coffee. He's like, oh no, you're very cheeky, I don't like the things you said. I'm like, okay, what did I say? He's like, oh, you want me to remind you what you said? I said, yes, I'd like for you to remind me, because you think, you know sometimes when you don't stand up for yourself, these things continue to these people bullying you. And then there was a stories of this guy doing other people to other females, which I was not comfortable with. So I knew if you step on me, I'll step on you too. So I asked him, okay, if you feel like I did something wrong, which by the way I don't know, so you just tell me so that I can correct it. He's like, oh no, it's not my job to do that. I'm like, okay, whatever. Of course I didn't say that, but we just did the show. And then the following day I was like, you know what? Fuck this. I'm not going to be in a place where some people don't even respect you in the name of, oh, just... And then let me tell you guys one thing. When I announced that I was working on radio, everybody was so happy for me that I was so scared of saying, I'm not working on radio anymore. So I didn't even announce when I left. I just stopped showing up to work, and then I slept really well because I was really exhausted. I remember the day that I quit. When I went home, I slept for a full day without hearing any movements. Like I was dead asleep. That is how fatigued I was, to the point that my body had aches, not because I was lifting anything, but because my body was just simply tired. So that's like a small story time about how I quit my job after 2 weeks. But you know what, it opened so many doors for me that you have no idea, and I can't wait to fill you guys in. But in the meantime, I will appreciate that if you watch this video. Please feel motivated to leave that space that is not paying you well enough and overworking you. Sometimes I know exposure means a lot, but it doesn't pay the bills. It doesn't. So until the next time, I think I'll just leave it at this, and I'll see you next time right here. Remember, you can follow me on Instagram at the Christine. Christine is with a KKRYSTYN, and then I'm going to link my email down below for business collaborations. Oh my god, I can't wait to fill you guys in about what we've been up to. It's crazy, but yeah, until next time, asanteni sana for being here, and I'll see you next time.